Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today we are taking a look at the Ketuo knives Usurper. That's what the ultimate goal is, to see if it's worth adding to your collection or EDC rotation. This knife was designed by Derek Wedge, aka SevrSevn of YouTube fame, and this is how he starts his videos. I don't really have a set intro for my videos. I usually just ramble, but I figured, he designed it, so pretty cool way to start the video. This is the Ketuo knives Usurper, sent to me by SevrSevn. I thought it was a pretty cool look, and he agreed to send it to me. So taking a look at that here today from a little bit of background info on SevrSevn. It's from High Ridge, Missouri. Influences, and this is coming from him, my little chat with him. He said influences include Brian Brown and Prince Customs. He likes the slim handle that Brian Brown uses and understated aggression of the Protean. And he chose Ketuo because they work really good with new designers, and he's got 5 future designs coming out, so be on the lookout for that. This I already carried this knife and kind of used it a little bit, but figured I would do like an unboxing here, all the stuff that comes with it. Here's a microfiber cloth, Ketuo sticker, and like a little well, there you go, there's the specs on it. Designer, blade finish, satin with bead blasting, manufacturer Ketuo, running on bearings, pocket clip 6AL-4V, handle 6AL-4V. So yeah, that's all the information right there. Put that on the side, and here is the knife. Nice little packaging job, I think. And nice little, got the little magnetic kind of clasp on there. Yeah, pretty neat. Pretty neat. All right, put that over there. And this is it. This is the Usurper. Got a little background info out of the way there for him. Go check his YouTube out too. He's got some pretty informative videos. That is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 up next to the Usurper. And got your Spyderco Para 3 right there. I would say it's like kind of a, it's pretty much a full-size knife. It's not quite 8 inches overall. We're about to do the measurement here. Kind of did that out of order. Kind of rusty. All right, that is the Kuhnle Metal Complex Excalibur, another YouTuber knife. Another YouTuber knife right here. That is the Neves Knives Misdemeanor. So some YouTuber knives for comparison right there. All right, let me get out so I can find it. Here it is. Tape measure. All right. Tip of the blade into the handle. You are looking, and I know I showed it in the card, but I always like to do it myself. Kind of helps people to see it sometimes too, I find. So tip of the blade into the handle. You're looking right at 7 3/4. Go with just a hair under them. Maybe 7 3/4 right there for your overall measurements. Blade length, you go from the very tip, very fine tip right there. Kind of reminds me of the Hypercut Biku, however the hell you say that. Tip of the blade back to where it meets up with the handle. You are looking at, I'm gonna call that 3 3/8, and cutting edge, you are looking at just a hair over 3 1/4. If you measure it that way, but if you measure it this way, since it is an American Tonto, you're looking at, let's see, about 1 5/8 on what I would call the primary edge. Secondary edge, you're looking at 1 inch and about 1 7/8. So that adds up to a little bit longer than the cutting edge if you measure laterally. So that's why I always kind of do that. Pretty good blade to handle ratios on this guy, I think. All right, so you're getting a lot of cutting edge for your what you got going on there. Zero these things out. Yeah, all right, there we go. All right, well, probably help with the, come on. No, I don't want to do millimeters. There we go. That's what she said. All right, so thickest part of the spine, about 158 thousandths right there. Measure behind the edge, fairly thick until you get all the way up. It's 28 thousandths there on that primary, and I can get these things working right. It's probably user error. 21 thousandths there. Let me redo this. So you had 21 thousandths there, and about 29, just 29 and a half thousandths, pretty close on that. Go ahead and put the calibers up over here. Put them at, hell, I'll put them over there. All right, so got the measurements out of the way. Kind of stumbled through that. Been a while since I did a video, so cut me a break. All right, so we'll go ahead and go into the weight. Probably help if I get the scale out here. I don't have my sticker on there yet. Little preview there for you. Wait for this thing to zero out. Put it on there, and you're looking at 4.1 ounces. Up here, maybe you guys can see it better. Yeah, 4.1 ounces. Triple check it. Yeah, 4.1 ounces. So pretty good blade to handle, or ounce to inch ratios, I would say. Pretty neat. And what else? What do we have to do now? I went to check the hardware, but there is no hardware. That's one of the pros. I'm gonna start doing like pros and cons in videos, guys. Let me know if you like it or not. I'll do the overall stuff first, and then I'll go kind of into pros and cons. So this is a T8 on here. Checking the pivot. Yeah, T8. I think it's a T8. Let me double check that. Yeah, T8 on this little NAFS driver here. I really like this thing. I got the mini too. So T8 single-sided captive pivot, and I guess so we did all the measurements and specs and stuff. Let's go ahead and move into the pros and cons. So pros, I would say it is very light in hand. 4.1 ounces carries pretty good in the pocket for me anyway. About average, maybe even a little below average from what I'm used to. I carry, you know, things like the 80-20 and stuff like that on a normal basis. So definitely lighter than a full tie 80-20 or a Spartan Hardsey or something. So that's a pretty good thing. Very light in the hand. Feels lighter than it actually is. I know people probably say that a lot, but definitely feels lighter than it is. Let's see, where is the balance point? I would say probably, come on, balance point's kind of far back. Yeah, about right there. So kind of far back on that balance point. So if you choke back, feels extremely balanced. And you got some jimping right there. A little bit of jimping right there. So that's a pro, I guess, right? If you're choked all the way back. Easy to reverse flick, and front flip is another pro. So pretty easy to reverse flick with that really cool looking fuller. I like that fuller. Well, let me just show you. Whenever you're reverse flicking, if you reverse flick like that, you can just kind of catch that with your nail. And even though I was upside down under camera, I still did that good. So the reverse flick works just fine on it. Indexing is really easy with this front flipper there. Jimping could be a little more comfortable, but it's not bad. I usually use right around the knuckle, right there, a little over the knuckle, I guess, whenever I'm front flipping. But yeah, front flipping, pretty easy on that. Full back spacer, so back spacer all the way down and around. I really like that. Always appreciate any back spacer, but a full back spacer is definitely pretty nice. I do like that. So kind of helps keep stuff from getting in there. A little bit of jimping there. Keep stuff from getting, falling in there while it's in your pocket and stuff. And plus, it kind of brings the design together. I think a nice back spacer really makes the knife come together on both sides of the blade on the handle scales. All right, hidden hardware. That's another cool thing. That's what I was originally kind of transitioning into on this part. So that is the only hardware you see on it. Pretty cool. They've got it. You got screws in there inside the back spacer going in, and the screws that hold the clip in are on the inside. It is not lefty. It's single, just right-handed tip up. So kind of a bummer for lefties, but maybe Ketuo might make a lefty variant of it. I don't think they do, though. I haven't seen one. So it's right-handed only on that, but the no-show on the hardware is a real plus. I really like that. So absolutely, and especially if you're looking at it from the show side. Clip side, you can see the T8 right there. But show side, absolutely no hardware showing, so that's pretty good. And that'll lead me into the next one. Is no billboarding. You don't see any logos. You don't see anything like that on here. You got M390, the blade steel right there. Right, it's M390, which is a pretty decent blade steel. It's a super steel, as they call them. Pretty decently edge retentive, decently corrosive resistant. I've not had a problem out of M390 as long as it's got a good heat treat. The edge seems to last, in my experience, which isn't, you know, super hard to use, but from what I've seen, what I've used, M390 is pretty good to go for a blade steel, also known as 20CV or 204P. So I do like the milling, chaos milling as they call it. There's a pattern on here, kind of his inspiration is dragon scales on that, but he calls it's like a variant of that. It's not super deep, but it's deep enough to feel it whenever you got it in hand, and I think it looks pretty good, especially with that purple anodization. They do another 3 variants of it. So if you go to Ketuo's website, you can check that out. They have a few different variants, color variants and stuff. No billboarding, chaos milling, hidden hardware, full backspacer, easy to reverse split, light in hand, and I think that is pretty much it on the pros section, which that's a lot of pros. That's pretty good. Oh, also inset liner lock. I do dig the inset liner lock. All right, you look at it. It's not a frame lock, inset liner lock, so no issues if you're reverse flicking, worrying about pushing against that lock bar or anything. I kind of like an inset liner lock more than a frame lock nowadays. Nothing wrong with a good frame lock, just kind of like inset liner lock better. And that'll go ahead and I'll lead into the cons, which number one for me on the whole thing was the lock bar access. If you look at it, that is, let me give it a fair take here. That is looking at it flush right there, right? So if you look at it flush, there's nothing sticking out at all, hardly, right? Or nothing. But kind of lean it to the side there, you'll see the lock bar, and I do like how they kind of put those grooves in the lock bar. That helps a little bit, but yeah, you got to kind of put your thumb, you can't push it over without using the corner of your thumb and your nail without kind of thinking about it, right? So naturally, my natural reaction, if I pull this out of my pocket, open it up, use it, cut with it, go to close it, I'm pushing in right there. And the detent also right there, by the way, no issues with that. But that kind of, I don't really like having to push in. It's a comfortability thing. It's a nitpicky thing. That's why I got rid of the slim MIDI. Don't like the lock bar access on that either. And another thing on the lock bar is the distance between that and the scale. You see right there, the thinness of the lock bar combined with my probably fat thumb. If I push in right there, right, to disengage it. Now I'm pushing right now. It's not disengaging. Why? Because it's pinching my thumb between the left side of the lock bar and the right side of that scale right there because of that gap. So, you know, the thinness of the lock bar itself, I don't really see an issue with that as far as security goes. I mean, the lockup's fine to me. I don't see any issues with the lockup. I don't foresee having any unless you go crazy with it. But that wide gap is something that I think needs to be fixed for sure. But other than that, you know, and that's a nitpicky thing. Pushing in, you know, I mean, you've watched me flick it open and close it a few times without any issues at all. It's just kind of a nitpicky thing that I think could be easily avoided, easily fixed. All right, so that's the first con. The pocket clip, kind of grabby and shreddy. Let me get the old faded blue jeans out here. Kind of an issue if you're wearing gym shorts too, but these are some average thickness blue jeans, and it goes in not too bad in the pocket. Not a deep carry clip. That's not an issue at all for me. The clip looks nice. It really does. And it's not the worst pocket clip ever by any means. I've definitely had some with some worse pocket clips. Actually, this one is a good example. This is the misdemeanor. I love this knife. Absolutely do. Got the geared back spacer on it. Pretty good knife. Awesome knife. The pocket clip looks awesome. No screw showing or anything. But as far as function, this thing, the clip on the misdemeanor could be better. I know I would definitely carry the misdemeanor a lot more if the clip was better. And it is, see how it's got some a little bit of too much tension on it, I think. But yeah, so clip could be improved for sure. Looks good. My rule on pocket clips is form over form over function. I thought I was saying it backwards for a second there, but form over function. This works pretty good, but I mean, this is a $70 aftermarket titanium pocket clip. I love those. See if I can get an example of one that, yeah, that's a $30 Lynch Northwest pocket clip. I don't like the screws not being, you know, they kind of catch, but this thing works perfect other than that. The McNeese Dixon, I don't have it out right here, and the PM Mac 2, those clips, they don't look great, but they work awesome. So, yeah, form over function is kind of my rule on pocket clips anyway. So that is another con. The jimping could be a little bit better. Like I said earlier, if you're choked all the way back here, the jimping functions fine. You're coming up against that little hump right there, that little notch, and you're fine. But if you choke up, like I do like to do, and this flat right there that kind of invites you to choke up, in my opinion anyway. You get up on that flat. There's no jimping at all. Jimping could have been extended up here. It's not really contoured, I guess. Shit, I can't think of the word for that. There's a proper word for it. The Spyderco Spymoto has it, where the spine is soft rounded, you know, there's no sharp corners. Damn it, thought I was a knife reviewer. Maybe one day, but that could have been done. You know, I would actually prefer that to jimping, because I do understand why people don't put jimping. To me, it kind of, because once you put jimping, the form is starting to affect the aesthetic. The jimping, aside from the little bit of extra work that they got to do, the jimping, you know, kind of changes the look of it. And I understand that. To me, the jimping not being all the way up here, not a big deal at all. It doesn't really bother me. To some people, yeah, that's like, oh no, they didn't put jimping all the way up there. To me, it's not really a big deal at all. The biggest deal on it is the lock bar access. That's pretty much the only thing that would keep me would keep me from holding on to this one. Would I recommend this one? Yeah, it's a pretty good knife, for the money especially. It's $225. Hidden hardware, M390, great design, pretty cool milling, you know, full back spacer. It's got a lot of pros, got a lot of awesome things going for it. And plus, this is SevrSevn's first knife design. So for me, pretty good work for a first knife design. I mean, I'm not going to kiss his ass. I told him I was going to mention the cons and everything in the video for sure, and he definitely wanted an honest review, so that's what I'm giving. But the lock bar access for me would be the only reason that I wouldn't really want to kind of purchase this, especially for what you're getting. I mean, it's a Chinese made knife, OEM'd in China by Ketuo, but I think they did a really good job. The hollow grind is awesome. It cuts really good. Nice hollow grind on that blade. It's a compound hollow grind Tonto. So you got grind there, both of them hollow, and then the flat up here with that nice fuller. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Y'all can go check them out on Ketuo's website. I'm gonna try to remember to link them, to link SevrSevn's YouTube down in the description down there if you want to go subscribe to him, check out his stuff. He's got 5 more designs kind of in different stages of the design bakery cooking, as it were. Yeah, for a first design, this one's pretty cool. And I'll have Ketuo SevrSevn link down below. Hit the like button, man, if y'all like this. If you like listening to me ramble, I mean, shit, we're 20 minutes in, right about 20 minutes in now, and if you're still here, I am thoroughly impressed. I really appreciate it. Thanks all my channel members. The channel members I have left anyways. I'm going to be covering live for on August 8th for Mopatty at 9:30 a.m. my old time slot that Mopatty's been covering. So probably do a vertical or something like that, because she's going to be busy that Saturday. So I appreciate all my channel members. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, what do they say at the end of these knife things? Something catchy. Y'all stay sharp. Don't cut yourself. You know, when you wipe your ass, do it till you see white. I don't know. I don't know what to say at the end of these, but thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. And thanks SevrSevn for sending this one along. I'll see y'all on the next one.